Today I'll be showing you how to compress any ripped or large DVD/TV show files on any Windows 10 PC. So this is just branch off from my previous video, which I showed you guys how to rip a DVD, and I ripped the Office episode, one of the episodes I wanted to rip. I ripped that, and now I will show you how to actually compress that to a smaller file size instead of a larger file size, and also how to convert it to a better widely used format, also known as the MP4 format. So what you want to do is go to your browser and search handbrake.fr. This will be in the description below. You want to come down here and then download Handbrake for Windows 10 and later, and then save that to your desktop, run through the installation process, and then you want to follow what I'm about to do next. So here's one of the episodes that I have ripped from the Office disk, and as you can see, it is 0.98 gigabytes, so almost 1 gigabyte. And this is for a 21-minute video, and that is too big of a file. And usually when I rip and then compress, it usually ends up being about 100 to 200 megabytes rather than 1 gigabyte, also which is converted to 1,000 megabytes. So when you install Handbrake, open up Handbrake. So this is what Handbrake will look like. You can drag and drop that file and it will scan it. And what you're going to want to do is leave everything the same right here. I wouldn't touch anything until you get to these tabs right here. So all this stuff I would leave the same, and just follow what I'm about to do. What I'm going to do is make sure that there is no quality loss, no audio loss, and it just compresses the file down to a smaller file size. So leave the format as MP4, leave all this right here, and what you're going to want to do is go into dimensions and make sure all this is the same right here. You don't want to touch anything. Filters, you don't want to touch anything. Video. So what you're going to want to do here is click on constant frame rate. You can change this to 60 frames if you want to, or higher. I would recommend leaving it at 30 unless you're really picky about the frame rate. To me, 30 and 60, it doesn't matter. So I would just leave it as 30, and 60 would be a higher file size. The 30 is also acceptable. Make sure it is constant frame rate. Come over here to constant quality and select, make sure this goes to 23 RF, right here, 23. That way it's not too much of a lower quality, but then again it's not the highest quality. It's somewhere in the middle but towards the higher quality here. And you want to make sure it's selected on constant quality, 23. And then leave all this the same, don't adjust this. So now go to your audio tab, and you want to leave your audio the way it is. Subtitles, I would just leave this. Mine doesn't have any subtitles. You can go to your chapters. You can disable the chapter marks. It doesn't really make a difference. You want to come over to your saved as, click on browse, and then you want to just save it to wherever you want to save it. I have it preset to whatever that title name is, space compressed. Even though it says .m4v, we can change that afterwards, so don't worry, it's still saved as an MP4, which is similar to an M4v, but you can change the extension later on, and I'll show you guys easily how to do that. So I'll save that to my desktop. Next thing you want to do is click on Start Encode, and this may take some time. It depends on your processor's quality and speed, how fast it is, and that's solely what it's based on. My processor is not as fast as the modern day processors, but it usually gets this done. For a 21-minute video, it usually takes 30 minutes. Again, that's reading through the whole file and compressing it. For movies, that's definitely going to take a lot longer, because it's usually 2 hours, and again, it depends on your processor. So once it's done compressing the video file, you can now see that I have the .m4v and a .mkv. When I go to the .mkv, the file size is almost 1 gigabyte, and when I go to the compressed one, it is now 142 megabytes. So that is definitely a huge decrease in file size for a 21-minute video. And even though it says .m4v, it is compatible if you change it to a .mp4. You just want to change that to .mp4, click OK, click yes, and it still does work once you do play it. And it works with all the other MP4 supported platforms. You can now delete the .mkv because chances are you don't want it anymore. So that is pretty much it for this tutorial. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comment section below. All the links will be in the description box below, so do check that out. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.